Hey everyone, Jojo here. Hope that you're all remaining to stay safe and healthy while we take this time to have our sanctuary at home. I'm just hanging in my backyard again, sitting in my little violet patch underneath the honeysuckle tree, and I figured it'd be nice to get into discussing more of the Yoga Sutras. I'm going into the second sutra of the first pada, and that one. So we started off with the first one. That was Atta Yogana Shasanam, right? Now begins the practice of yoga. And the second sutra of the first book is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So yoga is the cessation of the mental modifications of the mind stuff, right? That's a lot to think about, right? Yoga is the cessation of the mental modifications of the mind. But let's just take a moment, just kind of break that down. All right, what exactly does that mean? So yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So chitta is that's the mind, right? And chitta vritti is the fluctuations of the mind, the mental formations, the thought reel, the to-do lists, the random things that just kind of pop in and out of your mind. It's also the emotions, the holding on to, the anger, or latching on to that really amazing experience, and always trying to make that happen again. All right, so yoga, chitta vritti, nirodha, right? So that's the cessation of it, stopping that, right? So stopping all of those fluctuations, those mental formations from happening. That's what yoga is, right? So yoga is coming into that space of nothingness, that space in the mind where it's quiet, where the mind is still and nothing's happening. But in that space of nothingness is so much potential, right? So much possibility there in that empty space. That space between the thoughts, that quiet, peaceful, empty space. And I think it's so powerful that the second sutra of the entire book is that. That's what yoga is. So if we can grasp that, then we got it. Kind of, right? But that's the hard stuff, right? Is how do we make the mind be quiet? How do we find that still space in the mind? That space where the mind isn't busy and we're not attached to what we think, right? What we think doesn't define us or our current situation, that we can just recognize that it's just a thought or it's just an emotion, and that thought or that emotion will pass, that we can diffuse it and come back to that undisturbed space, where nothing exists. And that's why we practice, right? That's what meditation and our whole practice of yoga can guide us to, is the cessation of the mental modifications, right? The quieting of the mind, the stilling of the mind. And that takes a lot of work. Am I there? Oh no. Especially not right now, but I practice, right? I come back to the practice, and sometimes the practice is fluid and seamless and seemingly easy. And other times the practice is really, really hard. And right now, especially with respect to, everything that's happening with this global pandemic that we are all collectively experiencing, the practice is hard. The mind can be very, very busy right now. And rightfully so, it's a scary place right now. Outside in the world, it's now considered unsafe. you know, and the mind, you know, it can just start racing, you know, if you lost your job or your partner lost your job or lost their job, you know, or people that you know, friends or family, might have become sick, yeah, even passed away, you know, at the scariest part. So the mind has a lot to latch onto, a lot to consider, and to really cling to these formations, these the likes and the dislikes, the colorings of the mind, the thoughts, the emotions. And it can easily not only lead the mind to feel distracted, but it can even make the mind become kind of deluded, you know? We might just be looking for an answer, looking for anything to make us feel better, looking for someone to blame, right? But if we can come back to this second sutra, right? Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the cessation, the ending of the mental modifications of the mind. All the thought reel, the puppy mind, the monkey mind, whatever you want to call it. Slowing down, subsiding, coming to a close. Ending. Seceding. So next time you're sitting in meditation, and that's kind of what I'm going to be exploring this week in my morning meditations, is just open awareness and practicing releasing the thoughts, releasing the emotions, and just coming into that stillness. And I find that the open awareness meditation, just dhyana, can be a challenge, you know. We might wonder if we're doing it right. You know, we might think that this isn't meditating, that we're not able to focus, right? But the focusing, the focal point meditations, the dharana, that's kind of like a pre-meditation practice. You know, learning how to focus the mind and quiet down the mind. But then getting into kind of that open awareness. And just, if the thoughts come through, just letting them pass. So if you want to try that with me over this next week in the morning, please join me at 7:30 Central Standard Time. But even if just in your everyday life, you know, if you have moments to just kind of stop, we probably all have a lot of time right now, so just kind of stop and check in, observe, and see if we can just kind of slow down the mind, quiet down. And it's okay if it seems really hard. It's okay if it seems like you're not doing it right. Know that you are doing it right. Just putting in the effort and making the practice is doing it right. You know, and with practice, all is coming, right? So just consider that for now. And if you would like to join me in any sort of discussion, if you have any comments or any thoughts of your own with respects to the second sutra, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, then I'd love to hear what you have to say. Other than that, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll until we can all see each other in person. Bye-bye.